So, I've been patiently waiting for Sargon's video on Brexit for about a year at this point. In fact, more than that. Because he's constantly been saying about how he's going to do one video on Brexit, and basically that's it. But the real reason Sargon hasn't done a video on Brexit, because nothing good's happened. Because everything Sargon wanted to happen, this magical unicorn wondrous land, is not going to happen. Sargon is your typical Brexiteer. Now, the only video he has done recently on Brexit was he answered the 48 questions, which are hilarious. Because, first of all, his main argument, pretty much all of them, is, oh, sovereignty. We have never lost sovereignty. There isn't a single law Sargon can point to that the UK Parliament has passed and then been overridden by the EU Parliament. The EU is democratic, you know, and the day after Brexit, the government released a white paper basically saying this. A lot of talk has been made during the referendum that the British Parliament was not sovereign. It basically went on to say that the UK Parliament was the sovereign body over the UK and had not lost any sovereignty. Case closed, basically, on that. That was his main argument. And basically, none of what Sargon wants to happen will happen. Day after day after day, going through all these Brexit talks, more and more bad stuff happens on basically what the consequences of Brexit are going to be. None of it is good. You've got Grimsby, one of the highest towns to vote leave. Its fishing industry has now turned around and said, actually, we want special preferential treatment. We want to stay in the single market, but not be a member of the single market. We want to keep all our current fishing territory, but be able to fish in other people's territories, but ignore the rules and laws of fishing in those territories. So you can see the amount of stupidity already going on that is being predicated by these people who knew bugger all about Brexit. And this includes Sargon. Sargon, infamously, to this day, when he had his debate with Thunderfoot, the only debate with someone who is pro-EU he has ever had, to my knowledge. He has never, ever been able to answer that, basically that Sarah Palin question. What EU law keeps him down? He wasn't able to answer it. But he was apparently so concerned about the EU that he couldn't name any, EU laws that, are bad. So, here's the thing, guys. Don't hold your breath for Sargon's Brexit video, because it will never come. Because if Sargon does a Brexit video, it will be an embarrassment. All you have to do is go and look at his debate with Thunderfoot, what he was saying, oh, how wonderful and marvellous it is, and then go and look at the two other debates he had, where basically he's talking with B about, oh, it's going to be wonderful when we leave the EU, all this stuff is going to happen. But here's the thing, all Sargon was repeating was the same Brexit propaganda that Leave and, the people who are behind Brexit have been saying for years. In this case, Sargon is not a skeptic. He has not looked into the EU. He has not looked into any of the consequences. I mean, Christ, you have the Brexit impact studies, which were first, oh yeah, we've got these impact studies, but we've got to keep them secret, to then going, oh yeah, they don't exist. To an actual Parliament committee, then all of a sudden, oh yes, we have these Brexit reports, look at them. To them basically saying that you'll find fishing fleets near the coast, electricity is important to the running of the country. I mean, what more do you want to have on this? It's insane. You've then got the whole thing of Sargon's, one of the things he was saying in his thing was, oh, if we get rid of all this immigration, then we can have higher wages. That's not going to happen. Theresa May, when she was Home Secretary, kept a report on this secret. You know what the difference was between a EU worker and a UK worker? 1%. That's negligible. Absolutely negligible. It doesn't even matter. Right? And not only that, there's been a couple of reports come out that have basically said, yeah, when we lose all this EU migrant workers, we're going to have a problem. To the point where you've had the National Union of Farmers basically come out and say, we need special protections to allow EU migrants to come and work on our farms. Something which they have already, but have decided, yeah, we're going to vote out the EU. And another thing, the National Institute of Farmers also came out recently and said that 80% of all small farms will go bankrupt. Because without being able to be in the single market and have the subsidies that they gain from the EU and have a lot of the advantages within the EU, which were negotiated for us specifically, which gave UK farmers an amazingly good deal, they can't compete in Europe, where I think it's 65% of all our agricultural produce go. So, yeah, you know, I can go on. I can go on and on and on about all the stuff that has just come out all this year. And here's the thing, none of it is good. But Sargon is desperate to do a video on how good Brexit will be. But he can't, because if he does, he will have to make it up. He will have to lie. And if he does, he will get called out on it. And that's why Sargon will not do a video on Brexit.